Picture this. The cameras cut in, the lights blaze, and the whispers across the sports world hit fever pitch. Travis Hunter's yes. That Travis Hunter, the phenom who's been setting the college football universe on fire, is at the center of a storm that nobody saw coming. Word on the street? Majoring in wide receiver and minoring in cornerback. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Because behind that innocent little phrase lies a saga of ambition, ego, and high-stakes drama that could tear apart locker rooms, shake fan loyalty, and even fracture friendships within the team. Coaches are whispering about burnout. Teammates are grumbling about favoritism. And rivals are plotting to exploit the chaos. And get this, while fans were chanting his name like a superhero. Hunter was allegedly in the locker room telling teammates, "I can carry this program at 2 positions if I have to." That declaration didn't just raise eyebrows, it set the entire football community ablaze. Some call it confidence, others, arrogance. The family is caught in the middle, torn between supporting his dreams and protecting his health. Fans are shocked, analysts are split, and insiders say tensions are boiling over faster than ever. This isn't just football anymore, this is personal. This is Travis Hunter's gamble. And it could either end in glory or total disaster. The tension around Travis Hunter's bold decision started like a quiet ripple, but soon erupted into a tidal wave of drama that no one could ignore. It wasn't just about playing 2 positions. It was about what that choice represented: ego, ambition, and maybe even betrayal. Teammates whispered in the hallways, coaches shook their heads behind closed doors, and fans flooded social media with divided opinions. Some praised him as a once-in-a-lifetime athlete, while others accused him of being selfish and reckless. One thing was clear: this wasn't going to be a smooth ride. The first sparks of conflict came during a heated practice session. Travis lined up as a wide receiver, eyes sharp, ready to prove his dominance. Caught a deep pass, made a defender slip, and strutted back to the huddle with a grin that screamed untouchable. But when the coach quickly asked him to switch to cornerback for the next drill, things got messy. A teammate, clearly frustrated, muttered under his breath, "Man, pick a side already. You're not Superman." The words weren't meant for everyone, but they echoed louder than intended. Travis froze, his smile fading. "What did you just say?" he snapped, locking eyes with his teammate. The air grew tense. Teammates shifted, uncomfortably. Coaches tried to brush it off, but the crack had already formed. The team wasn't just divided on strategy anymore, they were divided on loyalty. After practice, things escalated. In the locker room, a group of players gathered around, voices rising. "He thinks he's bigger than the game," one of them said. "2 positions? Come on. The rest of us grind for 1. Another chimed in, "And what happens when he burns out? Who pays the price then? The team." Travis overheard every word. Instead of backing down, he walked straight into the middle of the group and declared, "I'm not trying to steal anyone's spotlight. I'm trying to win. For us. You can't handle that, maybe you're not built for this." The room fell silent, but not because they agreed. It was the silence of unspoken resentment. The kind that lingers and grows outside the football facility. The drama spilled into the media. Fans were torn, with some dubbing him a modern legend and others warning that he was destined for an early downfall. Reporters couldn't resist adding fuel to the fire. "Travis Hunter is chasing glory at 2 positions," one headline screamed. But will ambition cost him everything? Family members were dragged into the mess too. At a family dinner, Travis's uncle voiced what everyone else had been too polite to say. "Son, we love what you're doing, but you're human. You're not a machine. You think playing wide receiver and cornerback makes you unstoppable? But what if it breaks you?" Travis's mother quickly intervened. "Let him chase his dreams. He's worked too hard for this." But even her voice trembled. thoughts betraying her fear of seeing her son crash under the weight of expectation. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, rival coaches from other programs were already circling like sharks. One insider leaked that a rival defensive coach had told his players, "Target him every chance you get. If he wants to play double duty, let's see how long he lasts under double the hits." The strategy wasn't about winning fair, it was about breaking Travis down physically and mentally. Fans at games could feel the tension on the field. One Saturday, Travis lined up at wide receiver, caught a spectacular touchdown, and the crowd roared. Minutes later, he switched to cornerback, intercepted a pass, and the stadium erupted again. It should have been a fairy tale moment, but when he returned to the sideline, a teammate refused to high-five him. Cameras caught the cold shoulder instantly, and social media went wild. "Team falling apart," one fan tweeted. "The jealousy is real," another responded. As weeks went by, the whispers turned into confrontations. After a particularly close game where Travis played nearly every snap, exhaustion plastered across his face, a teammate finally exploded in the locker room. "You're not the only one out here busting it, Travis. Stop acting like you're carrying all of us." Travis fired back, "I never said I was carrying anyone. But I'm the only one willing to take on more for the sake of winning." Argument escalated into shouts, with other teammates stepping in, some defending Travis, others backing the accuser. The coach stormed in, furious, and barked, "Enough. This team isn't about one man. It's about all of you. If you can't figure that out, we won't win anything." His words calmed the room for the moment, but deep down, everyone knew the cracks were growing wider. Away from the field, Travis faced another battle: his body. After every game, trainers worked overtime, icing his legs, wrapping his ankles, and stretching out muscles that felt tighter each week. Whispers began about whether he could really sustain this. Even his closest friends noticed. One late night, his best friend called him out. "Man, you're limping more than you admit." "Don't think we don't see it," Travis, exhausted, sighed. "I can't let them down. Can't let myself down. This is bigger than pain." But pain has a way of catching up. During one game, midway through the second quarter, Travis pulled up after a sprint, clutching his hamstring. The crowd gasped. The silence that fell over the stadium was deafening. He waved off the trainers and limped back onto the field minutes later, determined not to show weakness. Fans cheered, but teammates exchanged worried glances. Was this determination or denial? Off the field, the drama only deepened. Rumors spread that NFL scouts were divided. Some admired his versatility, while others warned it could shorten his career. "He's special," one scout reportedly said, "but he's playing with fire." Another scoffed. "Two positions. He won't last 3 years if he keeps this up." The constant spotlight began weighing on his family too. His younger brother complained, "It's always about Travis. Every dinner, every phone call, what about me?" The family was left divided, some pushing Travis to scale back. Others insisting he chase history. Fans too were split down the middle. A viral video showed a heated argument between two supporters in the stands. One shouted, "He's the future. Let him do both." While the other snapped back, "He's going to ruin his future if he doesn't pick one." Security had to separate them before punches were thrown. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more intense, another bombshell dropped. An anonymous source leaked that a coach from Travis's own team had privately questioned his choices. "He's great, but he's not invincible." The coach reportedly told a colleague, "He doesn't slow down, he's going to implode, and we'll all pay the price." The leak sent shockwaves through the program, sparking rumors of distrust even within the coaching staff. Travis, when confronted, brushed it off publicly with a smile, saying, "I'm here to win. Nothing else matters." But behind closed doors, he slammed his locker, muttering, "Who's stabbing me in the back?" And as the pressure mounted, one thing became clear: the best-case scenario of Travis Hunter majoring in wide receiver and minoring in cornerback wasn't just a football experiment anymore. It was turning into a full-blown reality show with emotions running high, allegiances shifting, and secrets threatening to spill. The story was no longer about whether Travis could play two positions. It was about whether he could survive the storm he had unleashed on himself, his team, and everyone who dared to believe in him. And then came the night that changed everything. A team meeting was called late unusual, with whispers of something big is going down. As the players filed in, the tension was unbearable. Eyes darted, hearts pounded, and when Travis walked through the door, all eyes locked on him. The room was thick with silence as Travis walked in, the weight of every glance pressing down on him. The coach stood at the front, arms folded, his jaw tight, darting between players like he was trying to hold together a crumbling dam. "Sit down," he ordered, his voice low but sharp. The players obeyed, but the tension only grew heavier. Travis sat in the middle row, his shoulders squared. But his eyes betrayed just how exhausted he really was. The coach finally broke the silence. "We need to talk about the elephant in the room, this experiment. This idea of one man playing, both wide receiver and cornerback, it's tearing us apart." Murmurs rippled through the players. Some nodded, others scoffed. Travis clenched his fists. He knew this was aimed directly at him. A senior lineman stood up, his voice shaking with frustration. "Coach, it's not just tearing us apart. It's making us look like fools. We've got guys sitting on the bench who'd give their left arm for a snap, and here we are running one man ragged because he thinks he's special." Before the coach could respond, Travis shot to his feet. "I don't think I'm special. I know what I bring. Every yard, every tackle, every point. I've earned it. You think I'm stealing opportunities? Maybe you need to work harder." Room erupted. Players shouted over each other, accusations flying like arrows. "You're selfish," one yelled. "You're the reason scouts don't notice the rest of us," another added. "Enough." The coach roared, slamming his clipboard against the table so hard it cracked. The room froze. "This team is bigger than one man," he said, glaring at Travis. "But Travis, you've put yourself at the center of every storm. You want to major in wide receiver and minor in cornerback? It's fine, but you better understand the cost. If this ship sinks, it won't just be you drowning. It'll be all of us." Travis sat back down slowly. The fire in his eyes replaced by something darker, dashed out. Later that night, away from the field and the coaches, the whispers didn't stop. Some players huddled in the dorms, venting their frustrations. "He's gonna get us all hurt," one muttered. "The pressure's on us to cover his mistakes, and it's not fair." Another leaned in closer, lowering his voice. "What if he goes down mid-season? What if the entire system collapses because we built it around him?" But in another corner, a different group defended him. "You see what he does out there? Two positions, full throttle. It's carrying us whether you like it or not." Of them even dared to say, "He might be arrogant, but he's the reason we're still in the rankings." The division was real. Teammates who had once been brothers now avoided each other at meals, sat on opposite ends of the bus, and stopped joking in the locker room. The family atmosphere was gone, replaced with cold stares and tense silences dot off the field. The family drama only grew messier. Travis's father, usually calm and collected, lost his temper one night at home. "I didn't raise you to gamble with your future. Football isn't forever, son. You think the NFL will take you seriously if you break down before you even get there?" Travis, voice cracking, snapped back. "You don't get it. I don't want to be just another name on a roster. I want to be remembered." His mother tried to soothe them both, tears in her eyes whispering, "You're tearing this family apart over this game." The media latched on to every scrap of drama. Sports networks replayed sideline confrontations on a loop. dissecting every eye roll and ignored handshake. One analyst declared he's either going to redefine the game or ruin his career before it even starts. Another bluntly said, best case scenario, he flames out in 2 years. Worst case, he takes his team down with him. Then came the shocking twist rumors of a secret meeting between the coaching staff and Travis. Insiders claimed they begged him to pick one position, just one, to preserve his body and his career. Allegedly, Travis refused. "You recruited me for my versatility?" he supposedly told them. "Now, you want to clip my wings?" "No, I'm playing both." When that story broke, fans exploded online. Hashtags like #TeamTravis and #PickAside started trending. Fans clashed at tailgates, some wearing custom shirts that read Major in WR, while others wore Minor in CB. What started as a football decision had spiraled into a cultural phenomenon. The pressure finally boiled over during a high-profile, televised game. Stands were packed, cameras everywhere, scouts scribbling notes. Travis had a blazing first half to touchdowns as a wide receiver and a clutch pass breakup as a cornerback. But as the third quarter began, his exhaustion was obvious. His route slowed, his coverage slipped. Then disaster struck. A deep ball sailed over his head, and he didn't have the legs to keep up. The opposing receiver caught it and jogged into the end zone untouched. The camera zoomed in on Travis, bent over, gasping for breath. The crowd erupted, half in cheers, half in groans. On the sideline, a teammate threw his helmet to the ground, shouting, "This is what I'm talking about. He can't do it all." Social media exploded instantly. "He's human after all," one fan tweeted. "This is the beginning of the end," another said. Memes flooded the internet, showing Travis juggling footballs with the caption, "When you try to do too much." After the game, in the locker room, the mood was ice cold. No celebration, no laughter, just silence. Travis sat alone, towel over his head, ignoring the cameras waiting outside. Finally, a teammate broke the silence. "You can't keep this up, man. You're gonna break." Travis didn't look up, but his voice carried across the room. "If I break, I break. At least I'll know I gave everything." The words hung heavy, leaving everyone unsettled, and just when things couldn't feel any darker, another bombshell dropped. Late-night reports surfaced claiming NFL agents were circling around Travis, urging him to pick one position before it was too late. One agent was quoted saying, "He's a gold mine, but he's going to burn himself out. He has to choose." The story lit up the sports world, sending fans and analysts into a frenzy. Would Travis finally give in to the pressure? Or would he double down, determined to prove everyone wrong? As the days went by, rumors spread that a decision was coming. Teammates waited anxiously. Family members argued behind closed doors, and fans clung to every whisper on social media. Would he major in wide receiver and leave cornerback behind? Or would he flip the script and embrace defense fully? But when Travis finally stepped in front of the cameras, his answer shocked everyone. And that answer became the spark for the next wave of chaos. The cameras were flashing, the press conference room packed to the brim. Reporters leaned forward, microphones shoved as close to Travis as possible, waiting for him to break the silence. His face was calm, but his hands folded tightly on the table betrayed just how much weight this decision carried. After a long pause, he leaned into the microphone and spoke. "I hear the talk, I hear the doubts, but let me make one thing clear. I'm not choosing. I'm going to keep doing both." The room erupted in gasps. Reporters shouted questions. Fans watching at home nearly dropped their drinks. Social media exploded instantly. "He's insane," one fan tweeted. "Legend in the making," another countered. Hashtags like #BothORSNothing and #HunterBet continued to trend for days. But while the fans were divided, teammates' reactions were far more personal and far more dangerous. Later that evening in the locker room, the fallout was immediate. One of the team captains slammed his locker door and turned to face Travis. "You just don't get it, do you? This isn't about you anymore. It's about the rest of us having to clean up when you collapse. Travis stood his ground, replying sharply, I've been cleaning up for everyone all season. I'm not stopping now. Another teammate chimed in, his voice dripping with bitterness. You think this is courage? It's selfishness. You're gambling with all of our futures just so you can be remembered. The argument turned into a shouting match so loud that coaches had to rush in and separate them. The cracks in the team weren't just cracks anymore. They were gaping fractures threatening to split the entire program apart. Off the field, family tension spiraled further out of control. His younger brother, already struggling with feeling overshadowed, lashed out during a family gathering. You're not a hero, Travis. You're a headline. That's all you care about. The words cut deeper than any tackle. And for once, Travis had no comeback. His father, arms crossed, sided with the younger brother. That's right. Your pride is eating you alive. Only his mother remained in his corner, but even her support was clouded with fear. Please don't push yourself to the point where we lose you, she whispered tearfully. The press smelled blood in the water. Every sports network replayed the press conference, dissecting every syllable. He's defiant, but at what cost? One analyst asked, another quipped, best case scenario, he's a cautionary tale for the next generation. The word arrogance began to appear more often than talent in headlines. And fans who once adored him started to waver. And then came the betrayal. During a high-stakes game against a rival, Travis was clearly worn down. By the third quarter, he had already logged more snaps than any other player. Exhaustion painted his face, but he refused to come off the field. The rival team smelled weakness and targeted him relentlessly. Then, in one shocking moment, a wide receiver blew past him for a game-winning touchdown. The cameras caught not just Travis falling to the ground in frustration, but also his own teammates on the sideline shaking their heads. After the game, whispers spread like wildfire that a teammate had deliberately missed a block earlier in the game, allowing Travis to take a punishing hit. If he wants to be the hero, let him take the hits, the teammate allegedly said. The accusation was never confirmed, but the rumor alone ignited chaos. Fans flooded social media, some demanding the teammate's removal, others claiming Travis had brought it on himself. Behind closed doors, the locker room exploded. Travis stormed in, face red with fury. Whoever sold me out like that, show yourself. Silence. Eyes darted, but no one spoke. Cowards, Travis muttered, slamming his helmet into his locker. The silence wasn't just guilt, it was proof of how divided the team had become. As if that wasn't enough, the NFL rumors intensified. One anonymous scout was quoted saying teams are already backing off. No one wants to invest in a kid who can't be controlled. Another insisted if he sticks to one position, he's top 10. He doesn't, he's undraftable. The headlines were brutal, and the pressure on Travis reached a boiling point. His best friend, usually his rock, even confronted him. You're losing everyone, man. Teammates, family, fans. Is this really worth it? Travis shot back with tears in his eyes. I don't want to just play. I want to change the game. His friend shook his head. Maybe the game doesn't want to be changed. It's just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, another twist hit like a bomb. A leaked video surfaced of a private locker room conversation. In it, a frustrated coach could be heard saying, if Travis doesn't slow down, we're finished. This team can't survive another week like this. The leak went viral, confirming what fans had long suspected. Even the coaches didn't believe in his plan anymore. The betrayal stung worse than any injury. When confronted, the coaching staff denied the leak, but the damage was done. Travis stopped trusting almost everyone, keeping to himself, headphones in, eyes down, but football has a way of forcing drama back into the spotlight. The following week's game became a stage 4 redemption or humiliation. With cameras zoomed in, commentators speculating, and fans chanting both for and against him, Travis stepped onto the field. Every snap felt like it carried the weight of his career. He made a dazzling catch, then minutes later broke up a pass on defense. The crowd erupted, half in awe, half in disbelief. But late in the fourth quarter, tragedy nearly struck. Chasing down a deep pass, Travis stumbled, grabbing his knee. The stadium went silent. Teammates rushed over, coaches held their breath, and the cameras zoomed in on his face, twisted in pain. He refused the stretcher, limped off on his own, and waved defiantly to the crowd. Fans cheered, but the whispers grew louder. How much more could his body take? That night, alone in his dorm, Travis stared at his swollen knee. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through endless comments. Some praised his courage, others mocked his downfall. One comment, though, hit him hardest. Heroes don't last. Legends know when to stop. He threw his phone across the room, burying his face in his hands. And yet, despite the chaos, the doubt, and the fractures in every part of his life, Travis wasn't done. He was planning something bigger, something that would shock everyone who thought they had him figured out. And that plan would unleash the most dramatic twist of all, the whispers of Travis. Planning something bigger turned into a storm of speculation. Fans flooded message boards with theories. Analysts dissected every frame of practice footage, and even his teammates couldn't figure him out. He was distant, quiet, but there was a fire in his eyes that hinted he wasn't beaten yet. Some thought he was finally about to announce his retirement from double duty. Others believed he was planning to transfer, leaving behind the team and the drama for a fresh start. But then came the announcement. Travis wasn't stepping back. He was doubling down. In an emotional interview aired on national television, he declared, "They say I can't do it. That'll burn out. But I was built for this. I'll major in wide receiver, I'll minor in cornerback, and I'll prove every single one of them wrong. Not for me, but for everyone who said it couldn't be done." The reaction was nuclear. Fans screamed in the stands when the clip played on the Jumbotron before a game. Social media blew up with hashtags like #UnstoppableHunter and #Madness or Legend. Even celebrities chimed in, some praising his determination, others calling it career suicide. Inside the team, though, emotions reached a breaking point. One late-night meeting between players erupted into chaos. "It's going to kill our season." A furious teammate shouted, "He's already killing himself, and we're supposed to cover for it." Another shot back, "You're just jealous because you'll never have half his talent." The room turned into a shouting match, fists nearly flying before coaches. Barged in, the family atmosphere of the team was gone. It was now war camps under one. But then came the game that would go down in history. The stage was massive, a nationally televised rivalry matchup. Scouts packed into the stands, millions watching from home. Everyone waited to see if Travis would collapse or rise. From the opening snap, he was electric. As a wide receiver, he sliced through defenders, pulling in catches that seemed impossible. As a cornerback, he locked down his assignment, swatting away passes with raw intensity. The crowd roared his name, every move feeding into the legend he was trying to build. By halftime, he had already recorded 2 touchdowns and an interception. Fans were in awe, but teammates were splitsome inspired. Others seething with resentment at how the spotlight never left him. The second half, however, turned the night into pure chaos. Exhaustion set in, but Travis refused to slow down. Midway through the third quarter, he took a brutal hit that left him sprawled on the turf. The stadium went silent. Cameras zoomed in as trainers rushed to him, his teammates forming a nervous circle. But then, against all odds, he pushed them away, stood up, and raised his fist to the sky. The crowd exploded, chanting his name as if he were invincible. Yet in the locker room at halftime, the mood had been different. One teammate muttered under his breath, "He's killing himself for claps." Another snapped, "He's giving us a chance to win." The division was tearing at the core of the team, even as Travis carried them on the field. Late in the fourth quarter, the game was tied. The opposing team lined up for a deep shot down the field. Travis, still on defense, locked in. The quarterback launched it, the receiver sprinted, and Travis, running on fumes, leapt higher than anyone thought possible. He snagged the interception, came down hard, and collapsed to the turf. The stadium erupted in chaos, screams, and panic all at once. As trainers carried him off, his teammates crowded around. Some clapped his back in admiration, others turned away, unable to celebrate what they saw as self-destruction. Cameras caught every tear, every grimace, every moment of raw humanity. That night, the world couldn't stop talking. Was it the greatest individual performance in college football history? Or the beginning of the end for a player pushing himself past human limits? Analysts debated furiously, fans argued in bars and living rooms. And the internet was flooded with highlight reels and memes, but behind the glory was pain. In the locker room, Travis sat with ice packs strapped to his legs, unable to stand. Teammates argued around him, one saying, "He saved us tonight," while another spat back, "Yeah, and he won't walk tomorrow." The coach, face pale, finally said, "This has to stop. I can't keep letting you do this, Travis." But Travis, voice hoarse, whispered, "You can't stop me. This is who I am." The story didn't end on the field. His family, watching the chaos unfold, was torn apart. His father begged him over the phone, "Don't destroy yourself for applause." His younger brother refused to even pick up his calls, sick of living in his shadow. Only his mother stayed by his side, but even she asked through tears, "How much more can you give before there's nothing left of you?" And then the final twist. Rumors began swirling that NFL teams were split down the middle. Some were more intrigued than ever, seeing him as a revolutionary player who could change the game forever. Others were ready to walk away, convinced he was too reckless to survive in the pros. One insider even claimed half the league sees a superstar. The other half sees a tragedy waiting to happen. The drama had spilled far beyond football. Now, fans weren't just watching a player, they were watching a saga. A human gamble with stakes higher than anyone had imagined. His teammates were divided, his family torn, and his own body caught in the crossfire. And yet, Travis smiled through it all. When asked if he regretted anything, he simply replied, "This is the best case scenario. I get to be me, all of me." The cameras cut, but the questions lingered. Was he building a legacy that would last forever? Or was he writing the final chapter of a story destined to end in heartbreak? Either way, the drama wasn't over, not by a long shot. And that, folks, is where the storm leaves us. Travis Hunter, standing tall in the middle of chaos, family divided. Teammates at war, coaches on edge, and fans torn between worshiping him as a legend or warning him as a cautionary tale. He's majoring in wide receiver, minoring in cornerback. But maybe, just maybe, he's majoring in drama and minoring in heartbreak. Every decision he makes seems to spark another fire, another argument, another twist that leaves the football world gasping. But here's the thing, the story isn't over. Will he survive the physical toll? Will his teammates rally behind him or turn their backs completely? Will NFL scouts see a revolutionary athlete or a broken one? And most importantly, will this gamble end in triumph, or will it become the greatest what if in football history? Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Travis Hunter is rewriting the playbook for future athletes? Or is he playing a dangerous game that will leave him empty-handed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. And if you love diving into this roller coaster of drama, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next chapter of this wild saga. Your opinion might just be the spark for our next deep dive. Until then, keep the debates alive, keep the passion burning, and remember, when it comes to Travis Hunter, the drama is only just beginning.